Good evening. Hi, Elder Lou, Elder Norma. Oh, there we go. Hey, Mike, how's it going? Hi, Dad. I'm in the car, so I have to rewatch it in a little bit, FYI. Okay, gotcha. I'm actually not going to be on too long this evening. Although I feel like I always say I'm not going to be on. Like if I plan to end short and I end up going long, but I'm planning to end short. We'll see if I can do it. Hi, Elder Penny. Hi, Elder Maritza. God bless you as well. Good evening to everyone who's jumping on. We'll give it a few more minutes. Hi, Jerry. We'll give it a few more minutes like normal, and then we'll go ahead and get started. There we go. That's better, right? I don't know. Yeah. Okay, Doc. And then if I talk too long, then just shut it off. I'm gonna try to be short. And I'll tell you why in a moment. I have this. You probably can't. I don't know if you can see it on camera. I have a sty. Can you see that in my eye? You see that? I don't know. I was looking it up. They say a sty usually lasts a week, but I think this has been in my eye for like 2 weeks. Doesn't seem to be getting any better. You can't see it, Jay? Like that? No? That's kind of look weird, me doing that. Um, yeah, but it won't go away. Although I didn't do anything. I always say you're supposed to put like a tea bag or whatever. I haven't done a thing. Because it's just there. It's not really bothering me. Every now and then I can feel it, but overall it doesn't bother me. Thank you, Jerry. I wasn't saying I look bad. I was just saying that I have a sty in my eye. Is it that time? It's that time. So we'll go ahead and get started this evening. Welcome, welcome. Uh, like I was saying earlier, I'm going to try to keep it short this evening, and I'll tell you guys why in a moment. So let's just go ahead and get started. Someone had called me. Today is Tuesday. Was it Sunday? Either Sunday or no, yesterday. Actually, I think it might have been yesterday. Yeah, it definitely was yesterday. Yesterday, I was speaking of someone. They had called me because they were walking, and long story short, they were like inches from being hit by a car. There was a car accident, and they were on foot, and they were inches from being hit by this car. And um, it was a really big deal. It was a huge scene. The person had to jump out of the way. It was a whole thing. And if they would have been hit, their feeling was they would have been killed, just because of how bad the accident was. And of course, they were very thankful, for the grace of God for protecting and watching over them. And um, I spoke to the person maybe an hour and a half after it happened, and you could hear they were still like shaken up by the idea of what had taken place. And it stayed with me, just the way the person was, and what they felt. And I began to consider my life, and I began to consider, quite frankly, all of our lives. And sometimes it takes moments like that for you truly to weigh and recognize what is important in your life, what truly has value. We can all agree, those of us who are watching, we can all agree that our days are spent with so much stuff, so many things. And I'm not speaking about our family and responsibilities that we have, I'm talking about all the other stuff. It can be so filled with things that really mean nothing. And sometimes it takes moments where you're shaken up to really recognize what is important in life and what really should have lasting value. And you hear stories about people who are either on their deathbed or have a terminal, sickness, and they are definitely they are most of them are in a place where they're just evaluating their lives, weighing their successes or accomplishments, perhaps weighing their setbacks. Um, and the word that becomes paramount, you hope not in most, but in a lot, becomes that word regret. And that word regret is filled with, I wish I would have done this. I wish I could have done this better. I wish I could have restored that relationship or whatever. The list goes on and on and on. And it's sad, for lack of a better word, that sometimes it takes that for us to truly understand and desire not to live in a place of regret, and wait till you get to that place in your life where perhaps it's not going to be easy or even impossible to be able to do the things that you wish you were able to do. And this has just been kind of staying in my mind, and I've been dwelling on it. And you read Ecclesiastes, and the author of Ecclesiastes, the really the whole summary of that entire book is him really speaking about the futility of life. And this is someone that had accomplished everything. This is King Solomon, who was extremely wise man and so wealthy and everything that he wanted. And this is somebody who was speaking about the futility of life, of course, separate from the Lord. How all of these, I'll say, things mean nothing without God. And I am left with the feeling, and my encouragement to all of us is to live each day being present, being aware, being alert, not putting things off tomorrow that you have the ability to do today. Weigh the relationships that you have. Is your unforgiveness? Maybe it's not even a big thing. Maybe you have some relationships with people where there was no fight, there was no big thing, but you kind of just separated. Maybe there was something that turned you off or turned them off, and you just kind of separated. But it was a good relationship. How would you feel if you were on your deathbed or that person was on their deathbed? Would you have regret in your heart? You think about all the things that God has purposed us to do. We've been speaking about purpose as husbands, wives, fathers, mothers, believers. Are we doing everything that we know the word declares that we should be doing? We don't want to live our lives in regret. We want to be able to say, I accomplished the tasks that you've given unto me, Lord. I thought about something, how wonderful it would be if at the end of every single night, perhaps we consider the day and we consider what we did in that day. Did we accomplish everything that we needed to accomplish? Now, this could mean from small tasks to big things. Really weighing the day, weighing what you put into that day. Did I accomplish everything that I needed to accomplish? Lord, open my eyes. Lord, lead me. All of some things that I have to do, that I have to take care of. And then if you find there were some things that you didn't do, you put it on the list to make sure that you're doing it tomorrow. Taking advantage of the day, living the day to the fullest. And, I certainly don't mean these words, meaning go out and just be crazy and do things without using wisdom. And, oh, this could be my last day, so I'm just going to do whatever that's not what I'm talking about. I'm, of course, talking about doing everything prayerfully and doing so with wisdom, but I mean doing it with purpose, allowing the Lord to lead you and not allowing our days to be filled with nothing. Is there time to rest? Of course there is. Is there a time just to kind of unplug and not be busy doing something every second of the day? Absolutely. Those moments are necessary for all of us. But we know the difference between that and filling our days just watching TV or on YouTube or whatever, and not being in our word and not being in prayer or not calling that brother or that sister to encourage them or whatever it is that is necessary for you to do. Live your life to the fullest. What time is it? I'm so good. I'm so good. Live your life to the fullest. Live your life without having that feeling of regret and feeling like you're just missing the mark. We have the ability to stop from doing that. If you find that you may be in that place right now, if you find that maybe there's some things that you really have purpose in your heart to do that you felt the Lord was leading you to do and you haven't done, make a change right now. Seek the Lord wholeheartedly. Ask Him to lead you. Ask Him to guide you. And by His grace, He will do so. Amen. So that's what I wanted to share with you this evening. And the reason why I wanted to end a bit early tonight is because, as you guys know, we're going to be reviewing Acts chapter 19 on Thursday. And by now, everyone, I'm hoping, has the questions that we handed out on Sunday. If you don't have the questions, you can shoot me a text or send me an email, and I will certainly get them over to you. But if you haven't had a chance yet to read the chapter and start taking a look at those questions, I normally have you guys until around 8 or so. So if I end now, that gives you 15 minutes that you would have normally been with me that you can use to get into your word and start preparing those questions for us to have a nice review and good conversation on Thursday. Okay? So I'm going to end now, get into Acts chapter 19. You can do it with your family, your husband, your wife, your kids. Maybe you want to call somebody and say, hey, let's just get on the phone together and we'll review it together. That'd be awesome for you to be able to do that. Okay, so review Acts chapter 19, and I will see you all on Thursday. Love you guys. Have a great night.